Happy Crafternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Well, today I decided that I was just going to play with a technique that is my favorite technique, and you guys all know how much I love ink blending and playing with silhouette stamps, so I thought I'd make a couple quick and easy cards using those techniques today. So if you have any questions about ink blending or silhouette stamping or anything like that, please feel free to ask them. It always helps if you put the word question in front of your question so that Tom can see the questions easily, and any that pertain to what I'm doing, he will definitely shout them out the best that he can. Sometimes there's a lot of them, and hopefully I can get a good answer to you. But before we get started with today's Stampin' Chat Live, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, happy Crafternoon. And of course, what everyone is wanting to join in on is a very happy birthday
Aw.
to Gina.
Well, thank you. And thank you all so much for all of those birthday wishes. Wow. There are so many coming in, and our group is filled with birthday wishes too over on Facebook, so I can't thank you enough for all of the love and all of the warm wishes. I've been reading every single one of them, and I'm going to go back later tonight and really scour the page so I can read everything, because this morning I was just skimming through and reading all of the ones that I could see, but it's so nice. Everybody's so kind.
One of my favorite day, just
Aww,
about.
That's so
One
sweet.
of my favorite days, yes.
That's so sweet. Well, and I also want to say, gosh, thank you guys so much for all the cards. I mean, you guys have been sending me cards for the last week and a half, and I've got a stack of cards in my office to go through, and I thought I would save them all for today so that I could open them all and just enjoy every single one of them. And also, Vicki Donnelly, I saw a package from you. As I was walking by, I peeked on my desk and I saw your return address. I didn't have time to open it because I was rushing to get here in the studio, but I will open that. So thank you so much for your kindness. Everybody, thank you so much. So sweet. Well, I have a little surprise to share with you today. I thought I would give you a little sneak peek of something that's coming in our February release. This is just a tiny sneak peek, and it's just for those of you that showed up here today that you get to see it ahead of time. I'm excited about it, and I think that you're going to find it to be very useful. So a lot of you guys have been asking if we could do labels for our ink pads and also for our ink cubes. And I have lots of other ideas of what labels could be used for. So Brian, who is our amazing graphic designer, he spent a ton of time color matching every color so that it would print perfectly. And we have color labels coming in our February release. Take a look at these. This is the color labels, okay? So these work both on our ink pads and our ink cubes. And it has every color in our collection, including down here, he added our Electropop colors. Now the Electropop colors, we can't print in neon. Like, we can't get it printed that bright. So what he did was he printed these on just white labels so that you can take these, and we already tested them all out. You can actually ink them up with the Electropop ink pad, let it dry, and then you can use those, and it won't smear the ink on any of these. And I want to just show you what they look like on. So here is Lucky Clover. I'm just going to peel this one off. They're nice and sturdy, and they've got a little bit of a texture to them, which I really like. Plus, we wet them. I spritzed some water on them, and nothing ran. And I also took a little paper towel with a little bit of the Gina K Design stamp cleaner, and I rubbed it over the surface, and a tiny little bit of the ink came off, but it didn't smear or anything. Now, actually, if you take stamp cleaner and you rub it over the top, this whole screen will come right off. So you don't want to use stamp cleaner on your ink pads, but if by chance you had a tiny little bit on your fingers or something, it's not going to damage it. So these will go on really nicely, just like that. Isn't that nice? You can put them on the side like that. You can put them on over here if you store your ink pads this way. But I also want to show you that instead of needing two different sizes, Brian sized them all and all of the text to work with our ink cubes too. So a lot of you say, okay, you know, I dropped all my ink cubes, my lids came off, I have no idea what the colors are. So these are designed to also fit on the bottom of the ink cube. So here, let me put Sweet Mango on here and show you how it works. So these just will wrap right around the front of your ink cube. So you can just line it up here like that. And you can just do that. So then your ink cube works. Isn't that cute? So they work for both. And not only that, so you'll have your ink cubes and your ink pads labeled, but I think we're going to try to do 2 in a pack, which would do both your ink pads and your ink cubes. But if you got 2 packs, you could actually use stamp pockets and store all of your scraps in your stamp pockets. So that's something that I'm going to work on organizing. And hopefully by our February 20th release, I'll have some organization to show you and different ways that we could do this. But there is a little bit of a texture. If you look really close, you can see that texture in there just a little bit. And it has all of our dye ink pads, including our ones that are like the light, medium, and dark lilac, light, medium, and you know, those. It has white and ivory. It has our embossing and watermark ink, and then it has all of our amalgams too. So that's another thing that's cool about this. If you label everything that you have, you'll be able to keep this sheet and you'll be able to see exactly what colors you don't have. So you won't order something twice. Whatever holes are missing, you have those. Whatever is still on here, you still need for your collection. So these are going to be available in February for our February release. Stay tuned for that. That's just a little sneak peek on my birthday that I wanted to share with you. Okay, so now I am going to do something fun with some masking magic and some ink blending. Let me get my paper cutter. Okay, so I'm going to cut some, and welcome everybody. It is great to see all of you coming in here today. I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock and I'm going to cut this into 4s. Yes, these are really nice, and he did such a good job at color matching. They're really, really good. And it's just nice to have that whole thing. And then as we add new colors, we will add small collections of new labels for you going forward. So we got to figure that out. But yes, we're going to do it. Okay, now I'm going to cut this one down to 3.5 by 4 3/4. And because it's my birthday today, I decided instead of like coming up with a brand new technique, I am just going to play with my favorite technique, which is ink blending and silhouette stamping. You know, we have tons of beautiful silhouette stamps in our collection, and I just love doing these techniques. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some 1/4-inch Masking Magic strips, and they're the ones with the red backing. Our 1/4-inch Masking Magic strips come in 3 sizes in the pack: 1/4-inch, 1/8 inch, and 1/2 inch. And I'm going to start by doing a bit of a perimeter here. I'm going to do a couple different cards today, I think. Just some fun things that I like to do. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for that super chat, Terry. That is so sweet. I really appreciate that. That is very nice. I'm going to get some coffee tomorrow and a scone at Starbucks, and I will be thinking about you giving me that for my birthday. So thank you so much. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going right around the perimeter. I know we need more silhouette stamps. You are exactly right. I love silhouette stamps. Can't ever get enough. Okay, so now I'm going to do something fun here. I'm going to create just a little grid, okay? So let's see here. I don't think we can send a label with every ink pad just because of the way that they have to be manufactured. But I think it'll be nice for you guys to have the set because and they're not going to be super expensive, but it's nice to be able to do other things too with it, not just ink pads like cardstock. Some people keep cardstock in folders. Oh, Mindy Farmer, stop. Thank you so much, Mindy. That is so sweet of you. I really appreciate that. Tom, we got to figure out how to turn that off. These guys are just too generous. Stop, stop, stop. I appreciate it, Mindy. Thank you so much. Mindy's going to buy me lunch tomorrow, too. Ooh, I'm going to have a full day of fun tomorrow. Okay, so I am just doing an X across this card. Now, this is just making kind of like a grid, like a window. Oh my gosh, who did the other one, Tom? Who did the other one? Oh my gosh, Def Shelty Mom, thank you so much. Fruit salad! Tonight, fruit salad. I gotta tell you what we're doing tonight, what our plans are tonight. Can I tell them, Tom?
Sure.
What our plans are? So we're going out to lunch with Alicia and Rena. And then after that, Tom and I, Rena bought us for Christmas tickets to go see, I can't think of how to say his name, but I want to say it's like Nate Bargatze? He's a comedian, and he's so funny, guys. Look him up. Watch his YouTube videos. Watch his specials. Watch his TikToks. He is one of the funniest guys. You will love him. And they bought that for me. Arena bought that for me for Christmas, and it just happened to fall on my birthday. Oh my gosh, Kate, thank you so much. You guys, you're you are so generous. Okay, this is the only day that you can do this, okay? Otherwise, no. Thank you very much. I appreciate it all so very much. Okay, so that's what we're doing tonight. We're going to see a show. I can't believe it. Lunch and a show. Okay, so now I'm going to get my blending brushes, and I'm going to pick some colors here. So why don't you... A lot of people like Nate. Yeah, Nate is so much fun. So much fun. Tom, make sure you shout out any more of those, because if I turn away and I miss it, I'm going to just die. Okay. All right, so I'm digging back here for some colors. Let's see, Turquoise Sea. Oh, Diane, thank you so much, Diane. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And then I'm going to use that Lucky Clover ink pad that I just labeled with our new labels that are coming. And then what do you think? Should I use Michelle? Michelle, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, now I got to do math. In Canadian dollars, I know that's a lot. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then I think I'm going to do a lilac, but I'm going to use medium lilac here. Okay. Seriously, you guys, above and beyond. Above and beyond. I'm going to get my ink stand, and I'm going to do like a, oh my gosh. Let me see. Devilee, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Wow. Tom, I think you're going to have to shout out so I can keep going. But, wow. So sweet. Isn't that so sweet? It's beyond sweet. Okay. I'm going to start with medium lilac here. And I am going to do just a fade that goes kind of down on an angle like this. All right, I'm going to start with medium lilac, and here's a good example of the way that you should ink blend these colors. Okay, so I've got purple, and I've got turquoise sea, and I've got green. So I want to make sure that I go in the order of the rainbow. So I'm going to go from purple to turquoise, and then turquoise to green. So you don't want to, just because you've got some beautiful colors and you know they work together, you have to be careful the order that you go in. If I started with green and then I went to purple, I would get brown in between there. So did somebody just ask, can you tell what colors make brown? Yes, you can. You can tell what colors make brown because they're too far apart on the color wheel. So you always want to go with a color that's very close to another color, like purple and blue are right next to each other on the color wheel, and blue and green are right next to each other on the color wheel. So thank you, Cindy Lynn. I appreciate that super chat, and I appreciate the birthday wishes. So you definitely want to go in order. If you're nervous about it, though, just take a little piece of scrap paper and try blending them on your scrap paper before you continue on. This way you're going to know what you're going to get. So purple into teal is going to create a very, very beautiful blue purple in between. I did see a question go by there, Tom. Why are the lids of the stamp pads different? Well, because these are our light, medium, dark color companions, and these are our regular dye inks that are just single colors. So this is Turquoise Sea, this is Lucky Clover, but then we have a light medium, a dark medium, and we have a light lilac, a medium lilac, and a dark lilac. So those pads tell you that they are part of a 3-part collection. I hope that makes sense. So there is a different screen on those. But the ink itself all works exactly the same way. They're all dye inks. Oh, CB Singh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, so kind. Oh my goodness, Tom. And Lucky, oh my goodness. Oh, it's just Susan, Lucky. We got Lucky 2211, and Susan and Stephanie. Thank you all so much. You guys are so generous. Okay, so I'm going down on an angle here. I'm going to go back and read all of what you wrote on those super chats too, because that is super kind. And I know that you've all, and I'm going to read all your messages because you've all sent me such nice birthday messages here and in our Facebook group as well. Thank you, Carol Arnold. Thank you so much. Very generous. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a fade going here. And then I'm going to go into the Turquoise Sea. And I'm going to start, a little bit off of that, and then I'm going to blend up into the purple. So I'm coming in this way so I get full-blown turquoise in here, right? And now I'm working my way back up into that purple. So you can see where the purple and the turquoise overlap, you get more of a periwinkle in there. Michelle, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I'm going back over that with a little bit of purple. Okay. So normally it's not like this. So if you're new here, everybody's being so kind for my birthday, but normally we're just crafting. 29 again? Well, Debbie, that is a good question. I would say 29 on one side and a little bit more than 29 on the other. Ellen, thank you so much for that super chat. Okay, so now I'm coming in with the Lucky Clover, and I'm going to bring that up into that turquoise, and where I get to the turquoise, it's going to overlap and create more of a teal green. So let's get a little bit more turquoise on there. Oh my goodness. Stampin' Sure, thank you. I appreciate that. Cheers to you too, and thank you for the birthday wishes. Appreciate it so much. All right, so now we've got our beautiful window look here. Now we're gonna do some stamping into these windows. So I am not going to take this off just yet. I'm going to stamp just in the windows. So you will see these pictures almost like we're looking outside a window. I'm going to take a little bit of Post-it note paper here. This is just Post-it notes. Thank you guys for all the birthday wishes. And
quick question.
Yes.
Are you going to have more inks that have the light, medium, and dark of that color like the lilac?
Yes, I certainly am. We've got more of those coming later in the year. We do. Okay, so I'm going to just do a variety. Thank you, Michelle, for the super chat and the birthday wishes. I appreciate that. I'm going to use a variety of stamps here. So I think I'm going to start with this one. This has been a very popular little mini set. This is called Kindness Silhouettes. Tiny mini set and very, very easy to use for silhouette stamping. And I did use this a little while ago in another silhouette stamp video that I did. Kaylee, thank you so much for the super chat and those birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Okay, I need to find an acrylic block that's going to work. So I'm going to use this small one. Lisa, thank you for the super chat. Oh my goodness. Everybody's going crazy today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, guys. Y'all are so nice. Okay. So I am going to, first I'm going to get a piece of white cardstock because I really want to check this out here and make sure that it's going to stamp dark enough where I don't want to use my MISTI, because I'm going to be stamping these as single times. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be able to do it more than once if I'm using an acrylic block. Yes, Aquarius, unite. Okay, so let's just get a good, oh, that's nice and dark. Okay, so we are going to stamp this in this block up here. Okay, all right. So I'm going to stamp this like coming in from here, nice and solid, and I do want to make sure that I press hard enough that I don't have too much of a line where the masking magic is. But I also don't want to press too hard where I rock it and double stamp it. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to stamp it again over here like this. Yeah, it's super chats are like a little tip, which is so nice and so unnecessary, but I appreciate it so much. And normally we don't do that here, but I guess people are being very, very sweet for my birthday, so thank you. Going to be getting a lot of lunch and a lot of Starbucks. Okay, so that's the stamp I decided to use from this Kindness Silhouettes. Now I'm going to pick a different stamp set. How about if I use Friendly Silhouettes for this one and I get like a butterfly wing in there? I think that would be a good one. So I do want to take these off and I want to block off another area. Could you do stamping in the MISTI? Yeah, you definitely can do it in the MISTI. What I would do is I would set this grid up on your MISTI mat, do your ink blending there, and then just stamp right there while it's all taped down to the mat. And this way you can stamp it more than once. It'll take a little bit longer to do that because you have to clean the stamp, reposition it, and then stamp it again. But absolutely, if you're more comfortable using your MISTI, by all means use your MISTI. I'm taking some risks here because it might not work out and I might not get a good clean image. But for this one, I'm going to kind of come in like that with this butterfly. Okay, so let's go ahead.
So question, why not use the window from the Mask Maker die set? Would that have worked differently?
No, it would have worked very much the same. It would have just been a different size. And I decided to just whip up some Masking Magic strips today, but that Mask Maker set is fantastic. That's our Master Layouts. Oh, what number is it, Tom? Master Layouts 11, maybe? I have it here. Okay, that looks good. Let me just take a quick peek and I'll show it to you. Yeah, here it is. This is Master Layouts 11 and it's got a grid pattern like this and some postage things in here. You can see this is going to have a much skinnier center than this. So these windows are smaller and the panes between them are bigger, where this, the windows are bigger, and because I used Masking Magic, the panes are smaller. Ruth, thank you so much for that super chat and the birthday wish. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, so there's lots of different ways to use masks, to use masking paper, to use the master layouts. This is just a different way. If you have that set, I highly encourage you to use it because you're going to get a great look doing that. All right, so I'm going to do another butterfly. I don't know why I put it away. Another butterfly down here because I feel like having the two butterflies, but maybe let me just peek and see what some of the other sets that I grabbed. Ooh. Ooh. Maybe I'll do a leaf. This is autumn silhouettes. I'm just pulling out all my favorite silhouette stamps here, and it's just going to be a mishmash of things. I think I will do this. Now, if you don't use the butterfly and you just use leaves and stuff, you know, you can do these for all different people that you're sending cards to. So, you know, maybe if like I was making a card for Tom, maybe I wouldn't use the butterfly. Maybe I would just go with leaves and things like that. Maybe trees and kind of those types of images. Okay, so I'm gonna do a leaf here like this. I love these leaves. They're so grungy. And I will put all the names of the sets that I use underneath the description here on YouTube, just in case anybody liked a set and they were like, oh, what was that? What sets did she use? So then you could just go to the website and look at them. Now see how I didn't stamp that very well? So my friend who asked about the Misty, yours would look better than mine, but it's better than horrible. And that's all that matters. Your youngest is having a birthday today? 31? Okay, honestly, I am 31 on my left side. Okay, so I am I'm going to take this and I am going to, now we could put a greeting here, couldn't we? Let me look at some of the greetings that I pulled out too. Okay, so this is one of our newer sets that we just released, and Sending Love would work. Let me just open this. This is called Single Peony, but there are lots of stamp sets that have greetings that would fit in there, including the one that was our incentive would probably fit in there just fine. That's wonderfully made, but is that going to be enough? No, see, I don't like the way it's going to overlap, although I could stamp that right at the end. I could actually, oh, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to peel all these off, and I'm going to make that my greeting block. Okay? So we're going to do that one with the Misty, because I don't trust myself with a brand new greeting. So let's peel these off. Love peeling Masking Magic off. It is so much fun. Peel this one off. So you can see that's a very thin little window panes in the center there. And when you peel everything off, I think your ink blending just looks so much better after, you know, everything just looks so clean. All right, now we'll get the Misty and we'll stamp that greeting in there. This way, if the greeting overlaps a little bit on the edge here, that really won't matter. And you can see how nice and clean that looks. And I'm going to do Thinking of You.
You mean the window dividers?
Window dividers? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, the panes are the actual windows, I think.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know that kind of
Although
stuff.
I could be wrong, but we'll hear about it either way.
Okay. Okay, the window dividers. All right, and I am going to go outside of this one, but that's okay. I feel like the rest of it needs to be centered to look good.
I haven't got time for the pain.
Is that the word of the day? Okay, I'm going to just clean this one off with my finger. It's a brand new stamp that I haven't used yet. I wonder if people are like sharing the word and I'm just not seeing it. Well, some people are saying it's window panes.
Yeah, window panes are the actual glass.
Oh. So what I'm stamping in is like the window pane.
I think so.
Okay.
The virtual window pane.
Okay. Let's just give it one little clean up and then we'll stamp it one more time. Sometimes when it's a brand new stamp, you just got to clean them a couple times. Bonnie, thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate that. And I appreciate your birthday wishes too. All right. There we go. That did it. Okay. So I think I double stamped a little bit, but you get the idea. Okay, so let's clean this stamp up and we'll make this into a quick card. It's just, we'll call that a thick font. It's a nice thick font. Mullions? Is that how you say that? Mullions?
I think so.
Right. See, we can always count on our friends to set us straight and tell us the names of things, because honestly, that's so helpful. Now, next time at a party, I'm going to say that. I'm going to be like, yeah, we got some new mullions for our windows. And I'm going to sound intelligent, like I know what I'm talking about. All my cardstock is bent, my black cardstock, because I think I told you this before. Whenever cardstock comes in, it comes in on these big 26 by 40 sheets, and then we cut it all in-house down to package it. And every once in a while, you get a damaged one. And so that's what they give me to use. So I get all the damaged ones. So you could probably see here this like crease in that. It's creased. We would never send that to you. But Gina K gets it all. So I'm using all the weird stuff. Okay. So let's get our tape here. Yeah, I mean, this is where you get the education right here.
Question.
Yes.
Okay, Leela wants to know, what is the difference in the ink that starts with the A that was at the bottom of your ink chart?
Okay, so the amalgam, that's our amalgam ink. So amalgam ink is a great ink for when you want to do coloring and you want to do either Copic marker, colored pencils in Gamsol, or watercolor. So you could do any of those or all three of those on the same card, because that ink will work with any coloring medium. But if you want to do colored pencils or Copic markers, but you don't want to do any water things, then you can use our dye ink. Because our dye ink is a water-based ink, so if you do watercolor or you do water spritzing on top of it, it can run and bleed a little bit. With amalgam ink, it won't run or bleed, so you can use any coloring medium with those. So those colors are very limited, but they're really colors that are based on, you know, coloring images where you're going to use a line art image and color it in versus solid color stamping. So I hope that helps. There is a chart in our Facebook group that says which ink should I use, and it tells you everything, all the properties of all the different ink types that we have. We have dye ink, we have pigment ink, we have amalgam ink, and embossing and watermark ink. Okay, so I'm going to put that on a white card base, and that is just a very, very quick and easy card.
Few questions on stock, and as we mentioned before, difficult for us to have information on what's in stock and what isn't during a live.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something.
That's something you can always reach out to customer service about, and you know, they can help you with that. Okay, now there's another stencil I have called Masks and Fillers. So I think I'm going to use this one. This is a very, very fun stencil. And I am going to use this oval to create some ink blending. So let's get another piece of that white cardstock and my paper cutter. And I'm going to cut this down.
And Pinky is asking, how heavy is the cardstock you use as card base? What is the lightest weight you would use as a card base?
Well, it depends. Sometimes I actually use 80-pound white as a card base if I'm going to do tons and tons of layers, both on the outside, and then I'm going to be layering stuff on the inside. But most of the time I use our 100-pound cardstock for card bases, which is what all of our colors are, most of our colors, now all of our colors. And I also use for white our 120-pound white and our 120-pound ivory. Okay, so for this, we're going to use this as the opening for ink blending. So I don't think I've ever shown this, this stencil. I've shown it with these two pieces, but I don't think I've ever shown this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to center this. All right, and then I'm going to get some Masking Magic strips. I'm going to use the 1/2-inch strips. That's great. I love that. The A inks are androgynous. That works. Okay, so I'm going to center this. It looks pretty centered to my eye. I think that looks pretty good. All right, and then I'm going to just put a piece of Masking Magic up top here to block that off. And then I'm going to put that there. Now for these sides, because I'm not too worried about this, because that isn't actually on the cardstock, but I'm very worried about this here. So to prevent anything from getting on there, again, I'm just going to use a Post-it note. You can use Masking Magic, but a Post-it note is just what I need here. And actually, I'm going to move that Post-it. Well, I'll do a Post-it note here, and I'll just add a little bit over here. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to do more of a sunny, sunset-y kind of blend here. So I'm going to start at the top with some purple. So once again, I will use that medium lilac toward the top. Selling the damaged paper for a discount? Well, you never know. Okay, there isn't that much of it that gets damaged, so that's the problem. I don't know that I would have enough to sell it, but it's certainly enough that when I say, oh, I'm running out of black, they say, here, take this little pile, because it has bent corners. Okay, so you can see I've got a little bit of that medium lilac in there. Now I'm going to move to Turquoise Sea. And I'm going to go right in from the side and get right over that line between them and add my Turquoise Sea in there. This will be a really nice blend. I think this is going to be really pretty. Okay. Now I'm going to add some pink. So I'm going to use a little bit of Passionate Pink, but I'm going to rub most of it off onto a paper towel. So I do want to get an even amount on my brush because I don't know what's on this brush. So I do want to get some of it on here. But now I am going to just brush a little bit of that off so it's not quite so dark. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come in with a very light hand and just bring in that Passionate Pink. Very light-handed here.
Questions from Vicky. Should you always ink blend on a separate piece and then mount on the card base? In other words, would the ink blending bleed through?
No, you definitely can ink blend right on your card front. You don't have to worry about it bleeding through. It's a very, very light ink. It's a dye ink, it's a translucent ink, and it's not going to bleed through your cardstock as long as you're using a good quality cardstock. Now, I know that there are some cardstocks out there that are very cheap, they're very porous, and you're not going to get a good ink blend on them anyway because they're going to have a lot of texture to them. They're not going to be as smooth. But if you're using a good quality cardstock, like our layering weight white, even our layering weight, which is so light, it's not going to bleed through. So now I'm going to use Peach down here at the bottom. This is Peach Bellini coming in at the bottom like this. And then I'm going to work that up into that pink. Okay. So these little masks from the Masks and Fillers set are so easy to use. And they get you that nice crisp oval or circle. And we could take this all right off there. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? Now I'm going to stamp right over this whole thing. I didn't want to leave the mask on there because I want my design to go outside of the mask. And let's find the perfect design for this. Oh, I like this one right here. I think that would be really pretty right in there. So let's use this one from Autumn Silhouettes. And then I have something else to show you because I think we've got time. Okay, so we'll put that right over there, and it's going to extend outside of that, which I love. Okay. Let me see if I have room for this greeting or if I'm going to have to use something smaller. I'm going to have to use something smaller, but that's okay. I can do that. I will put that right, I'll move that down a little bit. Now, if you wanted a little bit more room to stamp a greeting down here, you could either cut your cardstock a little bit bigger. Mine is 3.5 by 4 3/4, but you could go one size up from that, which is 3 3/4 by 5. Then you'd have more room, or you could just move that whole oval up. But I'm going to use something a little bit different for it.
And this from Michelle. What is the special technique / secret to getting such a light blend? Mine always seem to be a little dark. Your blending is just perfect.
So I definitely use a very light hand, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in just a second here, okay? So just give me a second to get this stamped. I'm going to stamp this more than once. I have too much stuff here on my desk. I will show you that because that's a great question, and a lot of people ask that question. Get a little heavy-handed right in that missing spot. Here we go. That looks pretty good, right? And that's so pretty. It just looks like it looks to me more like a sunrise than a sunset, actually. I think if I had done a little bit of a darker blue more at the top, it would look a little bit more like a sunset. But I like that. That feels summery. I'm getting summer. I'm getting excited. Glynis, thank you so much for the super chat. That's so kind. I appreciate it. Okay, so let me cut down another one of these, and then I will show you in my next card how to adjust yourself a little bit when you are going for that lighter ink blending. And it takes a little bit of practice. I think that's the thing, is that sometimes people think, I'm trying this and it doesn't look as good. You have to remember that I've been doing this for a really long time, and I've been practicing it for a really long time. And I have a lot of ugly cards that didn't come out really nice like this, in my trash can, over the years. So, but just get some good quality cardstock. That's the first thing. You really need a super, super smooth cardstock. And I'm going to tell you right now, Nina cardstock is a great cardstock. It's not smooth enough, in my opinion. And I know that's going to be controversial because a lot of people will tell you that that is the cardstock to use and that it's super smooth. If you feel Nina cardstock next to Gina K Designs layering weight and heavyweight white cardstock, you will immediately see the difference of how much smoother our cardstock is. And that has a huge effect on how nice your ink blending is going to look. I mean, it's going to give you an advantage. It requires less work the smoother the cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. And then I am going to just find a cute little strip sentiment here. I've got actual candy in my sentiment things here. I have a lot of them pre-cut. See, I feel like this would be a great sympathy card. It's just soft and gentle, and we can just put a little "so sorry" right there to finish it off. So this is from the Mixed Messages sentiment strips, and they were cut out with our sentiment strips dies. And when you're not sure what to do, like, that is a perfect little sentiment right there. Okay, so there's card 2. We got a Thinking of You. We've got a "So Sorry." Okay, so let me find what I'm looking for here. Give me 1 second. I gotta find in my big stencil mess. Here they are. These. Okay. So we're going to try something a little different, a little scarier, but all in all, I think it's going to look good. let's go ahead and cut this down once again to 3.5 by 4 3/4. You can make so many fast cards using ink blending and this kind of technique. So easy. Okay. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take a tiny bit of tape, this kind of tape, and I'm going to put a little bit on the back of this mask. All right, just a tiny bit. Can you see it on there? Can they see that, Tom? Just a tiny little bit. Let's see if I can get the shine in the right spot.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to put that right in the center of my card. Actually, I'll move this up because I'll make room for that silhouette stamp that we were talking about, okay? That greeting. I want to make sure that I have room to put one of these greetings down here. Okay, so now I'm just tapping it lightly. I'm not pressing down. I want to be able to remove this without tearing the paper. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that same color blend that I used on this card. But I'm going to do it on the outside instead. So the first color I'm going to do is that medium lilac. I'm not going to re-ink my brush, but if you, let's say you're just starting and you want to re-ink your brush, go ahead, re-ink your brush a little bit. But get a paper towel and just brush a little bit of it off so that it's not super strong. And then I'm going to start on this mask, and I am going to work my way around. Oops. I guess I should have pinned it down just a little harder. Let's get it back where it was. Okay. I'm going to hold it too with my fingers, and I'm going to just kind of go around the perimeter here. So you see my bristles are just dragging over the edge a little bit. But I'm not going all the way to the, to the big edge, just the edges of the mask. Okay? Now, I'm going to get my next color, which was Turquoise Sea. And again, holding this down, I'm going to get my Turquoise Sea on here, and I'm going to bring that out along the edge here. I know this doesn't look like anything yet, but it's going to look good. I promise. Okay. So I've got a little Turquoise Sea there. Now I'm going to go in with that pink brush, just whatever's left on there. And I'm going to add a little bit of that pink. See, I'm mostly on the mask itself. And then I'm going to finish it off with the peach. So that's giving me that same kind of look, same color blend, but just around the perimeter. Okay, so let's see what that looks like now. Now we're going to gently peel this up, and you see I've got an open space there with some really pretty ink blending around the outside. Now when you're ink blending and you're trying to get a light blend like this, remember, this brush has a flexible head. So when you put your finger on here and you put pressure on the head, see how flexible that head is? I mean, these brushes bend pretty well. When you put your finger on there, you're going to get a lot of ink, right? Especially if I just ink up the brush. You're going to get a lot of ink. And it's also going to look a little bit splotchy if you're not kind of doing this kind of coming in from the side and building up color. It's always better to build up color than to try to get all the color on at once. You can start with a lighter hand by either just resting your finger on there just to keep the bristles from springing back, or no finger at all, kind of like the shovel kind of look, and getting a light ink blend. So you see here how you're getting light purple and it's smoother than this look. Now if you want more, you go back, you ink up your brush again, and you add another layer. It starts to get darker. ink up your brush again, go back and get another layer on there. You can see that color is starting to get darker and darker, but it's misty looking, it's airbrushed looking, it's not a big blotch. You're starting to get that same dark color, but that's how you ink blend without it getting blotchy or without it being too dark. This way you can always go back, add more, add more, add more. But if you don't want to add more, like you're like, oh no, that's just enough, you've got a nice light blend. If you need more, you can always go back and keep adding more and build the color up to the darkest that you want it.
Kind of like chocolate chip cookies.
How is that?
Well, if you wait until they look done,
they're too done?
They're too done.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Hey, Charmaine, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for the nice birthday greeting. Okay, so that should help you. And practice. Just take a super smooth piece of cardstock and practice. Build color up to get it darker. Don't try to get darker all at once. So hopefully that will help. Okay, so now we've got this going here. Now I'm going to see, let's see here. I think I'm going to try something else. I'm going to put a piece of masking magic. No, because I left room at the bottom. We'll do that on another card if we have time. We might have time for one more.
How about a word of the day?
Ooh, I like that idea. Let's do a word of the day while I just stamp some stuff on here, okay?
Okay. So actually it's a phrase of the day. And the phrase of the day, okay, so if Gina is posting a preview of an upcoming live and she says, we're going to be working on a lot of very, very tiny flowers, paper piecing with a lot of small gems and things. That would be what you would call a small craft advisory. Small craft advisory, phrase of the day. Back to the dead space.
Good one, Tom. Very good. Oh, I like it. Small craft. It's embellishments. Very good. That's funny. So you can see this kind of masking, this creates more like a glow. It's almost like the moon or the sun, and then all the color is kind of around it. You still get a really pretty look, but it's just a different way of doing a silhouette stamp with ink blending. You're ink blending around the perimeter rather than right on the, the ink blending isn't where your focal image is, it's around the outside. You can see, same kind of thing, but totally different look, right? Love that. Okay, so now we're going to add that greeting that I talked about, and then I'll show you one more fun little thing that I like to do. Let's get this here. My heart is filled with gratitude. That's very tight, but we're going to make it work. I hope that's straight. I think it is. Yeah, isn't that fun? It's something fun to try. I feel like this would be more conducive to a piece of cardstock that's like a colored cardstock as opposed to a white cardstock card base, because you don't have as much color on there. Where the other ones, I like the white card base because it just doesn't take away from all of the beautiful color that is in your ink blending. Still ink blending, just a different style. Oh, Tom, that was very funny. I see a lot of comments where people are liking that word of the day. Okay, so we'll make this into a quick card, and then we'll do one more quick technique, and then we're going to be done for today. Let's see. Again, this has a big crease in it, but I'm using it. I don't think it'll show in the picture. And honestly, I mean, most of this is going to be covered up anyway with my panel. I'm cutting this. You could be using master layouts too for all of these cards to get the same dimension. So this is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and the black panel is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And so for this one, I would use a colored card base. So let's pick a nice soft color. Maybe something like, let's see. Oh, how about a little bit of sea glass? That would be very pretty. We'll do that. That was close by and it was already cut in half, so I think that will be a good one to use. So you can see how fast you can do some of these cards too. If you need to make a quick box of cards to give somebody as a gift. You know, one thing that I think would be really nice is to use this kind of layout and then cut a bunch of different sentiment strips, birthday, thank you, get well, sympathy, and just put them in the box. And then give them maybe a little tube of glue or something, and then they can customize the card as they need it. So that's another way to give a nice gift to somebody, and they're not stuck with the greeting that you decided. Larry, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that super chat and your kind birthday wishes. Okay. So now we're going to do one more. We've got 3. This look, the opposite kind of look, and then my little quick window. And now one more. I think I can do this one. I know it's getting tight there with time, but it's okay. It's my birthday. I want to do one more. This is one that I really like. And it's one that I kind of forget about now and then. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use that, let's see.
Everybody should be able to do what they love to do on their birthday.
Absolutely, right? I agree. Okay, we're going to use this Masks and Fillers one again. And I am going to just clean this off here, because I might use a little bit of a different color blend. I'm kind of getting sick of this one now. I might go back to getting some greens in here. All right. So I am going to tape this down to my piece of cardstock. And then I am going to, oh my goodness, thank you so much. Now I'm going to try to say this. PK LaGrange, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it so much. All right, we're going to get this in the center of the card, like that. And then we are going to use Masking Magic again for this. Make sure that it's straight. I think that looks pretty good. Pretty good. Better than horrible? That's the standard. Okay, let's mask that off up there with some Masking Magic, and then down the side here to just cover all of that. Now over here again, I think it's going to be fine, but this one is where I'm worried. Right there and right here. Okay, now I am going to take a piece of Masking Magic and I'm going to go right across the center here. And I want to see how big my greeting is. So if I wanted to do this, I think I'm going to need 2 pieces of Masking Magic. So I'll do this here. And one more right about here. So I'm leaving an opening for a greeting. You've been in my thoughts. That would be a nice one. May all your weeds be wildflowers. That would be nice too. Okay.
So here's a question.
Yes.
Can you do silhouette stamping on black cardstock, or is it named differently? That's like a question you have to go sit on a mountain to figure out.
You can do silhouette stamping on black cardstock with white pigment ink. And so your design would be white on black, but it's still silhouette stamping because it's not line art stamping where you have openings to color in on the stamp. So the answer to that is yes. Okay, I'm going to start with this Turquoise Sea up here. All right. Then I'm going to go in with some Lucky Clover, just to get some green in there. And I'm actually using a fairly light touch. Getting a nice smooth blend. Might go back with the Turquoise Sea and go over that a little bit more there. Okay, now down here I'm going to do some medium lilac. Not going to get the medium lilac up into this green though. Okay. And then I'm going to do Turquoise Sea down here at the bottom to finish it off. Blend in some of that wild lilac again. Okay. Now, here's my little trick, my trick-a-doo-dah here. Now I'm going to take all this off. But I'm going to keep these two pieces of Masking Magic together so that the size of them remains the same thickness. Okay. Then I'm going to pull all this other stuff off. All right. Now, I've got that split opening there, which I love. Now I'm going to stamp my silhouette image on here. But I'm going to put it down right about here. And then I'm going to put this back over it, right over the center. And hold all of that in place, okay? Okay. Now let's go ahead and use this big one again. We'll do it like off the side here a little bit. I think it'll look pretty. Joan, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. And Lisa, thank you for the super chat. You guys are all so kind. Donna, thank you for the super chat. And Jennifer, thank you for the super chat. You guys are all so kind and your birthday wishes are greatly appreciated. Marilyn, thank you for the super chat. Oh my goodness. Everybody's so generous. Okay, now, here we go. Now we're gonna do some black ink on this. Don't think I'm not nervous about this. I think I'm gonna put like some extra Masking Magic here. Maybe I'll just really, I have to be careful though because that's gonna block my, I just don't want it to come apart here. There we go. Okay. Just a little extra just to keep it in place. All right, so now we're gonna stamp this. Okay, we're going to stamp it again.
I'm a big fan of the blue and the green together.
Yeah, isn't that pretty? I think the ink blending looks better too after you stamp the silhouette stamp on top. Let's just get this right in there. Okay, all right. Now, let me clean this stamp. This is one you have to try, guys. I think you're going to enjoy it. Now I'm going to pull this off. And we're going to put our greeting right in there. Let's do May All Your Weeds Be Wildflowers. I'll put that right in there. Because that's going to fit really nicely in there. Excuse my head if it's in the way, but I do have to make sure it's straight. Okay. Okay. There we go. And now we're going to stamp that greeting. So Super Chats are on, it's a YouTube feature, and it's kind of like a tip jar, and people are being like super sweet because it's my birthday, and they're giving me Super Chats as birthday presents. Look at that, guys. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that fun? I love that. What a fun way to add your greeting in the center. Oh, thank you so much, Kathy. Expressive paper. I appreciate that. So sweet. Okay. So isn't that fun? You got to try this. So a lot of the stamps that I'm using are from Autumn Silhouettes. I also used stamps from the Single Peony Friendly Silhouettes and Kindness Silhouettes. And I will add all of that to the description on the YouTube video. So for those of you that are coming in from Twitch or from Facebook, you can always go back to the YouTube video to read all of the description and everything else that I have on there. Colors for a sunset. Well, I think the best colors for a sunset are definitely like a blue denim or in the navy at the top, because you want the top of the sky to be the darkest. And then going into a turquoise or a purple, you could go into a violet, and then into a turquoise, then into a pink, and then into a peach or an orange. So the orange is down at the bottom close to where the horizon is, and then it goes all the way up to that navy where it's the nighttime sky overhead. Okay, so we're going to pop this one on here. This is probably one of my most fun layouts for silhouette stamping. I always enjoy this. And ink blending to do a split like that with Masking Magic. And if you don't have Masking Magic, you can use things like Post-it notes and Post-it paper. That works too. But doesn't the whole ink blending even look better once you get that that silhouette stamp on there? And now for this one, I think I might use this Tranquil Teal. Even though there is a lot of color on there, I think this is a different, dark enough color that it'll really stand apart from the ink blended colors. I don't want to use the exact color that's in the ink blending, but I want to do something that's a complementary color. So I think this one works really nicely. And of course you can go in and add embellishments, like Tom said, the small craft advisory, small crafty things, pearls, rhinestones, whatever you want to jazz these up if you want. But they're so beautiful and so easy and so quick to do that in just a tiny bit over an hour and 8 minutes, we were able to make all of these cards so quick and easy. All right. Well, Tom, what do you think?
Spectacular.
Do you have a favorite?
Spectacular. I think, that's tough. Depends on the mood, but right now I'm loving the second one.
This one?
No, next one over.
This one?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I know you love that blue-green blend.
I do.
Yeah. All right, Tom. Well, we're going to give away a gift card, $15 gift card to Gina K Designs. When you get a gift card, you don't have to spend it right away because it's a gift card and it just lasts. So we will email a digital gift card to one lucky commenter today. So, Tom, let's do it, okay?
All right. Let's do it. Cheesy drum roll. Okay, and the winner today is Barb Webb. Barb Webb!
Congratulations, Barb. All you have to do is send your name and your email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we will make sure that that gets digitally emailed to you. I don't know of any other way, but you'll get a digital gift card in your email. Tom, did I say thank you to that super chat up there? That red one? I don't want to miss anybody. I don't remember seeing that one come through. Maybe I did, but holy cow. I think you might be able to click on it up there at the top. We're just looking here.
There's two.
There's two. Peggy, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And Lynn, thank you so much. I don't want to miss anybody. And there's that M up at the top. You see that, Tom? Up the very top. I think you can click right on the top there and see. Yes, Marilyn, thank you so much. That is a huge super chat, and I appreciate that. All right, everybody. Well, this was so much fun. Thank you for spending part of my birthday with me today. I hope that you enjoyed some of these techniques, and I hope you'll give this ink blending a try. You know, if you struggle with ink blending, just remember a little bit of practice goes a long way, but make sure that your tools aren't working against you. Have a good quality dye ink. Have super smooth paper, and make sure you have good blending brushes, because blending brushes are not all created equal. And people say that that's not true until they actually feel a blending brush like ours that is super silky soft. It all makes a difference. If you have good tools and a little bit of practice, try the different positions with your finger, light-handed, medium-handed, and heavy-handed, and I'm sure that in no time at all, your ink blending will come a long way. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to take the weekend off. We've got a lot of fun things going on in our family for my birthday, and I'm going to be seeing some of my family over the weekend. And then Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night we have a surprise for you too next week. That's all I'm going to say. So stay tuned for that. And we'll be back next Tuesday night with another Stampin' Chat Live. Until then, everybody, stay safe and healthy. Thank you all so much for your wonderful birthday wishes. I've been reading all of them, and for everybody who sent a super chat, thank you so much. That was really kind of you. I really appreciate you. Don't do that again, okay? Love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.